Imagine this. You're a 7th century doctor. You know nothing about cells, DNA, or modern embryology. Yet somehow you describe the exact stages of human development, down to the smallest detail, centuries before scientists discover these facts. Impossible. That's exactly what happened in Islam. Today, we're diving into the most extraordinary miracles of Islam, miracles that continue to baffle scientists, historians, and scholars worldwide. From scientific revelations that predicted modern discoveries to physical miracles that defied the laws of nature. By the end of this video, you'll understand why millions consider these events as proof of divine intervention. Let's begin. The Quran, the ultimate miracle. The greatest miracle in Islam isn't a single event. It's a book, the Quran. But why is a book considered miraculous? 3 reasons. First, the literary miracle. The Quran was revealed in 7th century Arabia. This was a time when poetry was everything. Arabs memorized thousands of verses. They held competitions for the best poems. These people knew language like we know our smartphones. When the Quran was revealed, it challenged them. If you doubt this book, bring just one chapter like it. The Arabs were experts. They should have easily created something similar, but they couldn't. Not one verse. In 1400 years, nobody has matched the Quran's linguistic beauty. Even non-Muslim Arabic scholars admit this. Second, the preservation miracle. Every other ancient religious text has been changed, modified, edited, lost. The Bible has thousands of different versions. But the Quran? Identical copies exist from the 7th century to today, word for word, letter for letter, dot for dot. How is this possible? Muslims memorized the entire Quran. Generation after generation, millions of people became living libraries. If someone changed even one word, thousands would immediately notice. Third, the numerical miracle. This gets really interesting. The Quran contains mathematical patterns that are impossible to create by chance. The word day appears 365 times. Month appears 12 times. Land and sea appear in the exact ratio of Earth's land to water. These patterns go deeper than anyone could plan. But the real miracles are just beginning. Scientific miracles. Embryology. Let's travel back to the year 610 CE. No microscopes exist, no knowledge of DNA, no understanding of cellular biology. Yet the Quran describes human development with stunning accuracy. We created man from clay. Then we placed him as a drop in a safe place. Then we made the drop into a clot. Then we made the clot into a lump. Then we made the lump into bones. Then we clothed the bones with flesh. For centuries, people read this literally. Clay, drop, clot, lump, simple words. But in 1973, something incredible happened. Dr. Keith Moore, a leading embryologist, studied these verses. He was shocked. The Quran's description matched modern embryology perfectly. The drop is the sperm and egg. The clot is the early embryo that looks like a blood clot. The lump is the embryo when it becomes chewable flesh-like. But here's the amazing part. The Quran says bones form first, then flesh covers them. For years, scientists believed muscles and bones develop together. They thought the Quran was wrong. Then, advanced technology proved the Quran right. Bones do form first. Muscles develop around them later. Dr. Moore was so impressed, he testified that these descriptions could only come from divine knowledge. The Quran even describes the embryo's appearance. It says it looks like a chewed substance. Under a microscope, a 4-week embryo looks exactly like chewed gum. The indentations, the rounded shape, everything matches. How did a 7th century text know this? Scientists needed electron microscopes to see these details. Scientific miracles. Astronomy and physics. The miracles don't stop with biology. They extend to the cosmos itself, the expanding universe. In 1929, Edwin Hubble made a groundbreaking discovery. The universe is expanding. This revolutionized astronomy. Before this, everyone believed the universe was static, unchanging. But the Quran said this 1300 years earlier. We built the universe with power, and we are expanding it. One verse, 13 centuries before Hubble. How? Orbital mechanics. The Quran describes celestial bodies in motion, each in an orbit swimming. For ancient people, this made no sense. They saw the sun moving across the sky. They thought Earth was stationary. Today, we know everything is in motion. Earth orbits the sun. The sun orbits the galaxy center. The galaxy moves through space. Everything swims in its own orbit. The Quran got it right when everyone else got it wrong. The moon's orbit. Here's something even more specific. The Quran says the moon follows a precise path that becomes like an old date stalk. What does this mean? An old date stalk is curved, thin, and crescent-shaped. Modern astronomy shows the moon's orbit is elliptical. When viewed from certain angles, it looks exactly like a curved date stalk. The ancient Arabs could never have known the moon's orbital shape. Iron from space. The Quran states, "We sent down iron." The word "sent down" usually means from the sky. For centuries, people thought this was metaphorical. Iron comes from the ground, right? Wrong. Scientists now know that iron on Earth came from space. It formed in the cores of massive stars. When these stars exploded, they scattered iron across the universe. Eventually, this iron reached Earth through meteorites and cosmic dust. The Quran knew iron came from space before anyone understood stellar nucleosynthesis. Scientific miracles. Oceanography and Earth sciences. The ocean miracles might be the most visual proof of divine knowledge. The ocean barrier. The Quran describes a barrier between two bodies of water. He has set free the two seas meeting together. There is a barrier between them which they do not transgress. For desert people, this seemed impossible. Water is water, right? How can there be a barrier in the ocean? Modern oceanography reveals the truth. When different water bodies meet, they maintain distinct properties. Different temperatures, salt levels, and densities. They don't immediately mix. There's literally an invisible barrier between them. Jacques Cousteau, the famous ocean explorer, witnessed this phenomenon. He saw waters with completely different colors meeting but not mixing. He was amazed that the Quran described this scientific fact so accurately. The deep ocean. The Quran mentions darkness upon darkness in deep seas. It describes layers of darkness that stack upon each other. Ancient people only knew surface water. They had no concept of ocean depths. Today, we understand ocean layers. Sunlight penetrates water in stages. First red light disappears, then orange, yellow, green. Finally blue. Each layer removes more light. At great depths, complete darkness exists. The Quran described these layers perfectly. Mountains as pegs. Did we not make the earth a resting place? And the mountains as pegs? Mountains as pegs? This confused people for centuries. How are mountains like tent pegs? Geological surveys reveal the answer. Mountains have deep roots extending far underground, just like tent pegs. These roots stabilize the Earth's crust. Without mountains, the Earth's surface would shift constantly. Mountains literally peg down the Earth's crust. The Quran compared mountains to pegs 1,400 years before geologists discovered mountain roots. Physical miracles of Prophet Muhammad beyond. Scientific miracles, Islam records extraordinary physical events. These miracles were witnessed by hundreds of people, friend and enemy alike. The night journey. The most famous miracle is Isra and Miraj. In one night, Prophet Muhammad traveled from Mecca to Jerusalem, then ascended through the seven heavens. He met previous prophets, spoke with God, and returned to Mecca. All in a single night. People mocked this story. Impossible, they said. Travel to Jerusalem took weeks by camel. But the prophet described Jerusalem perfectly, down to architectural details. He had never been there before. How could he know? Some scholars suggest this was spiritual travel. Others believe it was physical. Either way, the prophet gained knowledge he couldn't have obtained naturally. The splitting of the moon. The Quran mentions the moon splitting as a sign. The hour has come near, and the moon has split. Multiple witnesses reported seeing the moon split into two parts. One part moved behind a mountain. The other remained visible. Then they rejoined. This happened in front of hundreds of people in Mecca. NASA's moon missions found evidence of a massive crack on the moon's surface. Could this be related? We may never know for certain. But the crack exists exactly where ancient accounts described the split. Multiplying food. During military campaigns, food often ran short. Multiple times, the prophet fed hundreds of people with impossibly small amounts of food. A few dates would feed an entire army. A small bowl of milk would satisfy dozens of thirsty men. These weren't isolated incidents. They happened repeatedly, in front of many witnesses. People who later became enemies of Islam still confirmed these events. Why would enemies lie to support Islam? Water from fingers. On several occasions, water flowed from between the prophet's fingers. During battles, when water was scarce, people would come to drink from his hands. Clear, fresh water would flow like a spring. Hundreds would drink until satisfied. The water never ran out. Again, this happened publicly, in front of believers and skeptics. If it was fake, someone would have exposed the trick. Instead, even enemies acknowledged these miracles. The crying tree. The prophet used to deliver sermons while leaning against a palm tree trunk in the mosque. Later, a pulpit was built for him. When he first used the pulpit, the old tree trunk began to cry. It made sounds like a crying child. The whole congregation heard it. The prophet came down from the pulpit. He hugged the tree trunk. The crying stopped. This wasn't a private moment. The entire mosque witnessed it. The tree missed the prophet's presence so much that it cried when separated from him. Prophetic miracles and predictions. Perhaps the most convincing miracles are fulfilled prophecies, predictions that came true exactly as foretold. The Roman victory. The Quran made a bold prediction. The Romans have been defeated in a nearby land, but they, after their defeat, will overcome within 3 to 9 years. When this was revealed, the Roman Empire was collapsing. The Persians had conquered most Roman territories. Nobody expected a Roman comeback. Betting on Rome seemed insane. But the prophet's followers believed the prophecy. They made public bets with Arab tribes. If Rome won within 9 years, the Muslims would win the bet. If not, they'd pay. Exactly as predicted, the Romans defeated the Persians. The timeline matched perfectly. The Muslims won their bets. More importantly, they proved the Quran's prophetic accuracy. The Mongol invasions. The prophet predicted that his followers would conquer Constantinople and Rome. At the time, Muslims were a tiny persecuted minority. These predictions seemed impossible. Constantinople fell to Muslims in 1453. The Ottoman Empire fulfilled this prophecy. As for Rome, Muslims conquered much of Europe and even besieged Rome itself. The predictions proved remarkably accurate. Modern prophecies. The prophet made specific predictions about the end times. Many seem to describe modern phenomena. He spoke of tall buildings competing in height. Today's skyscrapers match this description perfectly. He predicted that people would communicate across vast distances instantly. The internet and smartphones fulfill this prophecy. He described flying machines and rapid global travel. Modern aviation makes this reality. He said knowledge would increase rapidly, then decrease. The information age followed by widespread ignorance fits this pattern. He predicted moral decline, family breakdown, and social chaos. These trends are visible worldwide today, the preservation promise. God promised to protect the prophet until his message was complete. God will protect you from people. Despite numerous assassination attempts, the prophet survived until Islam was fully established. Enemies poisoned his food. They attacked him in battle. They sent assassins to his home. Nothing worked. The prophet lived exactly long enough to complete his mission. Then he died naturally. The protection was precise and perfect. The miracle of Islam's global impact. The final miracle is Islam itself, its rapid spread and lasting influence. From zero to global faith. In 610 CE, Islam had one follower, the Prophet Muhammad. By 632 CE, when he died, most of Arabia was Muslim. Within a century, Islam stretched from Spain to India. Today, 1.8 billion people follow Islam. That's 1 in 4 humans. No other religion spread so quickly without forced conversion. Islam conquered hearts and minds through its message, not just swords. The Scientific Golden Age. Islamic civilization preserved and advanced human knowledge. While Europe was in the Dark Ages, Muslims were making incredible discoveries. Algebra, chemistry, medicine, astronomy. Muslim scholars laid foundations for the modern scientific method. Universities, hospitals, and libraries flourished in the Islamic world. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad was the world's greatest center of learning. Islamic Spain became Europe's beacon of knowledge and tolerance. Social revolution Islam revolutionized Arabian society overnight. Tribal warfare ended. Women gained property rights. Slavery was gradually abolished. Justice became paramount. The strong couldn't oppress the weak. These changes were radical for 7th century Arabia. Yet they became permanent parts of Islamic law. The Quran established principles that modern human rights declarations echo centuries later. Enduring influence. After 1,400 years, Islam continues growing. It's the world's fastest-growing religion. Muslims contribute to science, technology, medicine, and arts globally. Islamic principles of justice, charity, and brotherhood inspire millions. Despite political challenges, Islam's core message endures. 5 times daily, over 1 billion people face the same direction in prayer. They recite the same words in the same language. This unity across cultures, races, and nations is itself miraculous. We've journeyed through scientific miracles that preceded discoveries by centuries. Physical miracles witnessed by hundreds. Prophecies fulfilled with stunning accuracy. A global impact that transformed civilizations. Each miracle we've discussed has been documented, studied, and verified by multiple sources. Believers and skeptics alike acknowledge these extraordinary events. The question isn't whether these miracles occurred. The evidence is overwhelming. The question is what they mean. For Muslims, these miracles confirm their faith. They prove divine guidance and prophetic authenticity. For seekers of truth, they offer compelling evidence worth serious consideration. What amazed you most? Was it the embryology descriptions that preceded modern science? The astronomical knowledge that anticipated space exploration? The physical miracles witnessed by hundreds? Or perhaps the prophetic accuracy that continues today? The miracles of Islam invite investigation, not blind faith. They challenge us to look deeper, think harder, and consider possibilities beyond our normal experience. Truth seekers from every background have examined these miracles. Many have found their lives transformed by what they discovered. If this video opened your mind to new possibilities, like and subscribe for more content exploring faith, science, and the search for truth. Share your thoughts in the comments. Which miracle do you find most convincing? the journey of discovery never ends. These miracles are just the beginning. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep your mind open to the extraordinary.